Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Richardson, Vice President of Clinical Relations at AngelMD, and I am very excited to have our Radiology Pitch Club extension video for this week. I'm here with John Hawkins, who's the CEO and co-founder of a company called Kardia. Take it away, John.
Well, thank you, Katie, for this great and exciting opportunity. Our mission at Kardia is to drive efficiencies and accuracy in diagnosing heart disease. We're doing this to improve outcomes at the patient level, as well as address the high cost at the payer level. Super near and dear to me, I had open heart surgery in 2016, and I'm now a patient living with HFpEF, heart failure with a preserved ejection fraction. So the stakeholders of heart failure and heart disease are overburdened. And they're burdened because the radiology exams lack accuracy and efficiencies, right? So let's start with the echocardiogram. It's two-dimensional grayscale, it's qualitative reporting with proven both operator and interpreter variability. There's over 70 videos from the echo to view when you're evaluating the patient clinically. Let's look at the other studies, CT angiography, PET scan, nuclear medicine study. All have improved resolution, but they're costly and carry a high risk to the patient. What we need is something that gives us the full detail of the heart structure and function in a better and faster with more reliability than the go-to studies. So enter the cardiac MRI, which is becoming the gold standard for cardiac imaging. It's safe, it's non-invasive, and it's wonderful for building quantitative machine learning-based tools. At Kardia, we are taking the cardiac MRI and we're conducting strain analysis on 15,300 cardiac landmarks that we can compare the patient's heart to a proprietary normalized strain database. We've obtained 2 patents for this approach. This allows us to generate an intuitive 3D color video that highlights at a micro-regional level the ischemic injury to the left ventricle. We've been researching this for over 25 years using the cardiac MRI and strain analysis. And to date, the NIH has provided over $10 million in research grants. This has led to publishing over 45 peer-reviewed papers authored by Dr. Pask and his team. And it's provided the basis for our patents and our proprietary database. To demonstrate the machine learning capability, where we've combined patient clinical data with imaging study, we've just published this recent study, and the outcomes are amazing. So we've built a clinical algorithm to help clinicians prospectively identify patients who will respond well to medical therapy from those that need a timely referral for surgical intervention. What did our model demonstrate? At a 94% area under the curve, we can identify those patients that would benefit from medical therapy. We've also identified areas of the heart that indicate this person would not respond well to medical therapy and would benefit from surgery really well. We followed those patients up over time, and you can clearly see the improvement from medical treatment from a baseline study and their follow-up exam. Ultimately, we desire this. We'd like to launch this as a clinical tool that will help address the high cost in care and improve patient outcomes. We want to help the doctors avoid overreacting and prescribing costly invasive surgery. And we also want to help them avoid underreacting, which would result in a dire denial of life-saving surgery. Our timeline to date, funding, the NIH has funded us $11 million in grants for 10 studies. We're a startup company, and our strategy today is to do seed raising, followed on with follow-up raises. And we expect a nice, healthy exit to follow. We've done pre-market evaluation with really smart people from the American College of Cardiology and Radiology, the radiology ecosystem, including GE, Siemens, and NVIDIA. We've met with community cardiologists and cardiothoracic surgeons, and all of that input gave us a thumbs up to form the company and build out our managing and advisory team, which includes Dr. Khan Siddiqui, a well-noted serial entrepreneur in the space. We've also identified prestigious beta sites. We're conducting product fit analysis, and we've been invited to join the GE Edison Accelerator Program. And this will provide us to some really wonderful GE radiology tools, as well as access to GE's cardiac centers of excellence. From a regulatory perspective, we've selected our regulatory advisory company. We know we'll go after the FDA 510K. And as we expand globally, we'll obtain the appropriate regulatory marks for those countries of interest. Thank you. Just trying to get to our brilliant team. There we go. Team Kardia. We've assembled this amazing team that includes clinicians who are steeped at diagnosing and treating heart disease and valvular disease, things like I had. We've got data scientists. We have some brilliant radiology ecosystem experts, including myself and Brian Phelan. So we really have the right team that can help commercialize this product, dominate the market from a cardiac MRI evaluation company, and really go after the high cost of heart disease. My name's John Hawkins. My contact details are below. Really looking forward to following up with you.
John, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing Kardia with us. I have a few questions and follow-up for you. You know, as I'm listening to what you're talking about, and I know you guys have done, there's a lot, this company is based on a lot of research, but how do we know that this is actually going to work in clinical practice and that it might or will change clinical outcomes?
Well, Katie, and thank you again for this opportunity. And that's a great question. How do we know it's going to work? You know, we've proven that it works well in the lab. We've identified some beta sites. Part of those new clinical trials will look at, are we really driving efficiency in the workflow? And are we going to improve patient level outcomes? We think we can, but that's that really next evolution, is to get it out into randomized clinical trials with multi-sites.
Great. And I'm guessing you're talking about specifically right now the left ventricle and heart failure, or at least that's what you mentioned in your talk. But I'm guessing this technology could be used in many different clinical situations. Can you tell me more about potential other use cases?
Yeah, absolutely. Katie, that's why we're excited about the cardiac MRI. You can learn so much about the patient's heart using cardiac MRI. You can look at the valves, you can look at the vessels, you can look at the blood flow, and you can certainly look at the cardiac, the heart as a pumping vehicle, which is what we're studying. So we anticipate being able to apply this on multiple scenarios, including screening for heart disease, all the way through the most sickest of the sick heart failure patients, to help doctors make that right choice. Which patients need surgical intervention, which patients will respond better to medical therapy. And
one last question for you today, John. How can the AngelMD network support you?
Well, I appreciate that. The AngelMD network can support us through a couple of vehicles, I think. Number one, we are looking to expand and identify new beta sites. You know, we're super excited about this. I've taken it to Tufts Medical Center, where my heart surgery and all of my follow-up is being done. We need more beta sites. I love Colorado. I love the geography that your sites, that AngelMD covers. So identifying some beta sites and some really smart doctors to help us look at this critically would be helpful. Number one. Number two, you know, we're actually in the middle of our seed raise. So any advocacy or championing for us getting funded properly would be incredibly beneficial.
Great. Well, again, John, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we look forward to having you in our networking on Tuesday evening as well.
Thank you again, Katie and AngelMD. Really excited about the opportunity and looking to joining everyone on Tuesday.